You thought those soft, cushy shoes were helping your legs feel better. But what if they're secretly causing your cramps, swelling, and even nerve pain? Jean, at 68, was like so many of us. She thought her comfy slip-ons were doing her a favor. After all, they felt like a hug for her feet. She wore them every single day, convinced they were the answer to her leg pain. But one night, she woke up in excruciating pain. Her calf muscles locked up, almost like a vice. She couldn't move, couldn't get comfortable. It was the kind of pain that makes you question everything. What caused it? Her shoes. They were silently sabotaging her legs all along. Now Jean isn't alone. Many seniors fall into the trap of thinking comfortable shoes are always the right choice. But the truth is, those seemingly soft and cushy shoes can actually be doing more harm than good. Over time, they can lead to things like leg cramps, swelling, and even nerve pain that can disrupt your daily life. I'm going to show you exactly how those comfy shoes might be causing these issues, and more importantly, how to avoid them. This is better aging advice for elderly. Real stories, real fixes, and real science to help you age with less pain and more confidence. We focus on simple, actionable advice that can really make a difference in your day-to-day life. If you're tired of dealing with unnecessary pain and want to feel stronger from the ground up, hit that subscribe button right now. Together, let's start your journey to feeling better every day. 1. Overly soft soles lead to poor support. Soft doesn't always mean safe. It's a common misconception. Many senior-friendly shoes are marketed as comfortable because they feel plush when you try them on. But here's the catch. They might be doing more harm than good. Shoes with overly soft soles might feel great in the store, but once you start wearing them regularly, they collapse under your weight, leaving you without proper support. This can throw off your entire posture, and the impact? It's not just in your feet. It travels up your legs, putting unnecessary strain on your muscles, joints, and even your spine. Think about it. Each time you take a step, your body relies on your shoes to provide stability. Soft soles don't provide the right foundation. They allow your feet to sink and your ankles to roll inward, which leads to an unstable walking pattern. Over time, this imbalance causes your body to compensate by engaging other muscles more than usual, causing tension in your calves, thighs, and lower back. This is a major reason why so many seniors wake up with those dreaded leg cramps at night. Your muscles are being overworked throughout the day without even realizing it. Jean's story is a perfect example. Her soft, cushy shoes felt comfortable at first, but after a few weeks, she started noticing more and more aches in her legs, especially at night. The discomfort became unbearable, and she couldn't understand why her calves kept cramping up. When we took a closer look at her shoes, it was clear those soft soles were causing her muscles to overcompensate. They weren't giving her the right support, and her body was starting to protest. So, what can you do to avoid this? The answer isn't always about finding the softest shoe on the shelf. It's about finding the right balance between cushioning and support. Look for shoes that have a firm, stable base, with a slight arch to support your feet in their natural position. Proper arch support keeps your body aligned and helps your muscles work in harmony, preventing strain and cramping. Remember, comfort should never come at the cost of support. Soft shoes might feel great in the short term, but over time, they can lead to more pain than relief. And if you're already dealing with leg cramps or swelling, it's time to check your shoes. Make sure they're giving you the right kind of comfort, something that supports your body from the ground up. Don't wait for the pain to escalate. Take action now and invest in shoes that give you the support. You need to stay active and comfortable. Your legs will thank you, and you'll be able to move with ease, instead of struggling through each step. 2. Narrow toe boxes cut off circulation. Cramping in your feet or calves. It might be your shoes. We all know the feeling, those tight, uncomfortable shoes that pinch your toes and leave you with sore feet at the end of the day. But what if I told you that even some so-called comfort shoes are guilty of this? It's true. Narrow toe boxes, those snug, pointed areas in the front of your shoes, can be a hidden culprit in causing foot pain, swelling, and even cramps that travel up to your calves. Here's why. Your feet have a network of nerves and blood vessels that work hard to keep your toes, feet, and legs healthy. But when your shoes are too tight, they squeeze those nerves and blood vessels, restricting circulation. Over time, this leads to a buildup of pressure in your feet, cutting off the blood flow to your toes and causing those uncomfortable cramps. You might have been chalking up to getting older. For seniors, this is even more important. If you already have circulation issues, which many older adults do, tight shoes can make it worse. Poor circulation means less oxygen and fewer nutrients are getting to your muscles, leaving them more prone to cramping. And this isn't just an issue for your feet, it can affect your entire leg. That's why your calves might be cramping up. 2. Your body is trying to compensate for the reduced blood flow, and the tension spreads up the leg. Let's take a look at Doris, a 74-year-old woman who struggled with foot cramps for years. She had always chosen shoes with a narrow toe box, thinking they looked fashionable and proper. But over time, those tight shoes began to cause more harm than good. Doris didn't realize the shoes were the cause of her pain until she switched to a pair of shoes with a wider, roomier toe box. Within just a few days, she felt a noticeable difference. Her foot cramps began to fade, and she noticed less swelling in her ankles. The circulation in her feet had improved, and the cramps in her calves became less frequent. So, what should you look for to avoid these problems? The key is finding shoes with a wider, roomier toe box. You want enough space for your toes to spread naturally, without being squished together. Look for shoes that allow your feet to breathe and move freely, giving your toes the room they need to stay healthy. A well-fitting shoe doesn't just feel good. When you put it on, it can help you avoid pain and prevent circulation problems down the road. Remember, comfort doesn't just mean soft cushioning. It also means room to move. If your shoes are too tight around your toes, it's time for a change. Your legs, feet, and health will thank you for it. Don't let tight shoes rob you of your mobility and comfort. Make sure your shoes give your feet the space they need to stay happy, healthy, and pain-free. 3. Lack of arch support causes fatigue. Flat insoles don't support your arches, and without that support, your muscles have to overwork just to keep you stable. This fatigue doesn't just stay in your feet, it creeps up into your calves. And before you know it, you're dealing with painful cramps, even when you're trying to rest. Imagine this. Every time you take a step, your arches are meant to act as shock absorbers. They distribute the pressure from the ground evenly across your feet and legs. But when there's no support for your arches, like in shoes with flat insoles, your feet collapse inward, and your muscles have to work overtime to keep you upright and moving. This constant strain on your muscles is what leads to fatigue, and it's a silent problem that many seniors experience without realizing it. For people with weak arches or flat feet, this issue is even more pronounced. The lack of support forces your calves and lower legs to pick up the slack. Over time, this results in the tightness and cramping that so many seniors struggle with, especially at night when they're trying to relax. The muscles in your calves are already tired from a day's work, and without proper support, they simply can't fully recover during rest. That's when the cramps hit. Let's talk about Marie, a 72-year-old woman who dealt with this exact problem. She loved walking, but had started to notice her legs getting more tired than usual. And by the time she sat down to relax in the evening, Her calves would tighten up painfully. She thought it was just part of getting older. But after talking to her doctor and switching to shoes with proper arch support, her whole experience changed. Those small but critical changes allowed her muscles to relax. Instead of working overtime, the cramping almost stopped overnight. So how can you fix this? First, look for shoes with built-in arch support. Shoes that keep your feet properly aligned and prevent them from collapsing inward. If you already have shoes you love, you can add orthotic insoles designed to support your arches. These insoles can help distribute the pressure evenly and relieve the strain on your muscles, giving them a much-needed break. Proper arch support doesn't just prevent cramping. It also helps with overall stability and balance. It might seem like a small detail, but it makes a huge difference. Without support, your muscles are working harder than they should, causing fatigue, cramps, and even long-term discomfort. Take action now. Don't wait for the fatigue and cramping to get worse. Find shoes or insoles that support your arches and give your legs the break they deserve. You'll not only feel more stable on your feet, but you'll also notice less pain, less fatigue, and a lot more energy to enjoy the things you love. 4. Heel slippage increases swelling. Loose-fitting shoes might feel easy to slip on, but when your heels aren't secure, your feet slide with every step. And that constant friction and instability, it's not just uncomfortable, it can cause serious issues, like fluid retention and ankle swelling by the end of the day. Here's the thing. Your feet are supposed to stay firmly in place inside your shoes with each step you take. But if your shoes don't fit properly around your heels, they'll slide up and down, creating unnecessary friction with every movement. That friction is like a constant rubbing, which can cause irritation and stress on the tissues around your feet and ankles. Over time, this instability leads to something even worse: fluid retention. Your body, in an effort to stabilize itself, begins to accumulate fluid in your feet and ankles, and before you know it, you're dealing with painful swelling by the end of the day. For seniors, this is particularly concerning. As we age, circulation can slow down, and the body becomes less efficient at draining fluid from the lower extremities. Add in the constant sliding of a loose heel, and now you've got a recipe for swollen ankles, stiff feet, and even a loss of mobility. And if you already suffer from circulation issues or varicose veins, the problem is only compounded. Take the case of Bill, a 75-year-old retiree who loved his slip-on shoes for their convenience. He never gave a second thought to the way they fit, until one day, he noticed that his ankles were swollen, and by evening, his feet felt heavy and painful. It wasn't until he switched to shoes that offered a secure fit around the heel that the swelling started to reduce. In just a few days, the fluid buildup lessened, and he was able to move around with far less discomfort. So, how can you avoid this? The answer lies in finding shoes that fit securely around your heels. When you wear shoes with a tight, well-fitted heel, it prevents your foot from slipping, eliminating that constant friction. Not only does this reduce irritation, but it also keeps the blood flowing properly, preventing fluid buildup. Look for shoes with adjustable straps or heel cups that hug your heel gently but securely. This ensures that your feet stay stable and protected throughout the day. If you already own shoes that slip off your heels, it's time to rethink your footwear. While they may be easy to slip on, the long-term effects of constant heel slippage can cause more harm than you might realize. Swollen ankles are more than just a cosmetic issue. They can lead to other complications if left unchecked. Make sure your shoes offer both comfort and stability, and your feet will thank you. The right fit will not only help with swelling, but also keep you more mobile and active. You deserve to move comfortably without worrying about painful fluid buildup. Take control of your footwear today and say goodbye to swollen ankles for good. 5. Lack of breathability traps heat. Ever notice your feet feel hot and puffy after wearing your shoes too long? It's not just uncomfortable. It can actually be a sign that your shoes aren't doing your feet any favors. Non-breathable shoes trap heat, and that heat doesn't just make you uncomfortable. It increases inflammation and fluid buildup. This is especially problematic for seniors who spend a lot of time sitting or standing throughout the day. Here's why this happens. Your feet are naturally supposed to breathe. They have sweat glands that help regulate temperature and prevent your feet from getting too hot. But when you wear shoes made from materials that don't allow for airflow, like certain synthetic leathers or rubber, your feet can't cool off properly. This trapped heat makes your feet sweat more, and as a result, your feet start to swell and become inflamed. That's why, by the end of the day, your feet might feel puffy and uncomfortable, almost like they're ballooning up. For seniors, this issue can become even more pronounced. As we get older, our circulation tends to slow down, and our bodies are less efficient at dissipating heat. When you combine poor circulation with heat-trapping shoes, it can lead to uncomfortable swelling in the feet and ankles. This inflammation makes it harder to move around and can even contribute to more severe health problems like varicose veins or blood clots if left unchecked. Take Linda, a 70-year-old woman who loved her favorite pair of faux leather shoes. They looked great, but after wearing them for a few hours, her feet would start to swell, and she'd feel a burning sensation in her toes. She couldn't figure out what was happening until we took a closer look at her shoes. The material was non-breathable, causing her feet to overheat and trap fluid. Once she switched to shoes with breathable mesh or leather, the change was almost immediate. Her feet stayed cooler and more comfortable, and the swelling went down. So, what can you do to avoid this? The key is choosing shoes made from breathable materials. Look for shoes that feature mesh or leather uppers, materials that allow air to flow freely and keep your feet cool. Shoes with ventilation holes or moisture-wicking linings are also a great option, as they help keep your feet dry and regulate temperature. The goal is to create a comfortable environment inside your shoes, so your feet can breathe naturally, reducing heat buildup and preventing swelling. Remember, breathability isn't just a luxury, it's essential for your foot health. When your feet are trapped in shoes that don't allow airflow, you're not just sacrificing comfort, you're inviting inflammation and fluid retention. It's time to think about your feet as part of your overall health. Invest in shoes that let your feet breathe, and you'll notice a huge difference, not just in comfort, but in how much easier it is to stay active and move freely throughout the day. 6. Worn-out shoes disrupt natural alignment. If your shoes are more than a year old, the midsole cushioning may be completely broken down. You don't feel it, but your body does, by cramping up to compensate for lost stability. Think about it. Shoes are like the foundation of a house. Over time, they get worn down, and that wear and tear can seriously impact your posture, balance, and overall comfort. When you wear shoes that are no longer providing the support they once did, your body has to pick up the slack. It's subtle at first. Maybe you don't feel it right away, but after months or even years of wearing worn-out shoes, your body starts to react. Muscles tighten, your feet ache, and cramping becomes a common issue. The problem usually starts with the midsole, the cushioning inside your shoes that provides support and shock absorption. Over time, this cushioning breaks down, and the shoe loses its ability to absorb impact. As a result, each step you take becomes harder on your joints, and your feet have to work extra hard to stabilize you. This extra strain doesn't just affect your feet, it radiates up your legs, causing cramps and muscle tightness in your calves, thighs, and even your lower back. Take Henry, a 78-year-old man who loved his old sneakers. They were comfy when he first bought them, but after a year of daily use, the cushioning was gone. He didn't notice the slow changes happening, but his legs sure did. By the end of the day, his calves would cramp up and his feet would feel sore. It wasn't until he replaced his worn-out shoes with a new pair that he noticed how much more stable and comfortable he felt. The cramps started to disappear, and he could walk longer distances without pain. So, how can you avoid this? If your shoes are more than a year old, it's time to assess whether they're still doing their job. Check the midsole, the cushioning, and see if it feels flat or worn down. A good test is to press your thumb into the shoe's midsole and see if it rebounds. If it doesn't, that's a clear sign the cushioning is shot and it's time for a replacement. When shopping for new shoes, focus on the midsole's thickness and quality. You want shoes with cushioning that will support your feet through every step you take, without compromising your body's alignment. Another great option is orthotic insoles. They're a great way to add extra cushioning and support to older shoes if you're not ready to let them go just yet. These insoles are designed to provide that necessary shock absorption and stability, helping to prevent cramps and discomfort. Replacing your shoes regularly isn't just about getting something new. It's about maintaining your body's natural alignment. When your shoes are worn out, they disrupt your posture and throw off your balance, leading to muscle fatigue and cramps. By keeping your shoes in good condition, you're doing more than protecting your feet. You're protecting your entire body from unnecessary strain. Don't wait until the pain becomes unbearable. If your shoes are worn out, take action now. Invest in a new pair that offers the right cushioning and support, and feel the difference as your body thanks you for it. Jean tossed those slip-ons and switched to a better pair. Within a week, her swelling dropped. No more midnight cramps. The relief was almost instant, and it wasn't just about comfort. It was about taking control of her health and well-being. Which of these shoe mistakes surprised you most? Was it the soft soles that caused instability, or the narrow toe boxes squeezing your circulation? Maybe it was the lack of arch support or the heel slippage leading to swelling. Whatever it was, you're not alone in this. Many seniors unknowingly wear shoes that are causing more harm than good. I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. I read every one and love hearing how this advice has helped. If this video gave you a new perspective on your shoes and you're ready to make a change, hit like to spread the word. And don't forget to subscribe for more better aging advice, where we tackle real problems and offer real solutions to help you age with less pain and more confidence. Let's keep walking this journey together, stronger, smarter, and more comfortable. See you in the next video.